What's up? It's your boy back at it again with another video. We're continuing the underrated thrower series, and today we got Gregory Tafralis. I butchered that name, I know. He recently just passed away, so RIP to a real one. A lot of throwers probably do not know who this is. He has a PR of 2198, and this throw was, I think, in the 90s. I'll put his career and his PRs and personal bests and height and weight, if I can find them, in the video description. But the main thing is, I think he's very underrated because he, in my opinion, has some of the best technique, especially for this time period. And I think he does a lot of things that a lot of modern day shot putters do. And I think he was very unique for this time. So we'll just watch him a couple times. I guess not fast motion. I couldn't get a good angle on this and do fast motion on this video. So we'll just watch it a couple times. So this is just kind of slowed down. What I really like about him is how smooth he is. He's one of the smoothest throwers I've ever seen. There's no hiccups, no herky-jerkiness. It's just straight boom, boom. And he's so fast and so quick in the ring. I mean, even in slow-mo, he still moves faster than some people. I mean, really reminds me of, no, I'm not even going to say that. Never mind. So, let's get into the technical stuff, alright? So, what I really like is there's no really waffling about or anything. The second he has it on his neck, he just goes. There isn't really any wind or anything. He's whoa, that's a weird line. He's very evenly balanced, alright? So this is his midpoint. Really shifts really well onto his left side. Oh, let me do that again. His left armpit over his left knee and his left toe. Everything is in line. Now, this is very characteristic of this time, was a low left arm. Maggie Ewing does that. Some people still do it. Not very many. It's fine. If you can do it properly, it lets you create a bigger orbit. So it's especially, you see it a lot more in shot put than in discus. And what that does is it lets him work around a little more. The only danger, I would say, is that for a lot of people, he would break in the hip, or it would cause his right foot to pick up really soon. But he does a really excellent job of staying grounded. So his left foot, so let me clear this. His left foot is pointed this way. Actually, let me see. His left foot, he actually has amazing flexibility. His left foot is pointed that way by the time his right foot gets up. And I want you to notice when his right foot is about to pick up, his knee goes out. It doesn't go in. All right, and that's a very important thing, because if you're right foot, and I'm just talking if you're a right-handed thrower, if your right knee goes in towards your left knee, you lost all the separation and all the torque. You're probably going to collapse over that left side, and you're going to over-rotate this way. He does an amazing job of keeping a stiff left hip. All right, stiff left hip. And that's a beautiful angle. This back position kind of reminds me of Zane Weir a little. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of this being bent so long, this right knee. and he kind of leads a little with the knee, but into his sweep, but he's just so wide and so fast. I mean, this is just a stylistic thing. It's okay if you can pull it off. So obviously he's a big guy to throw 21.98. You have to be a pretty humongous person. I don't know his weight. I'm assuming he's close to 300 pounds, if not more than 300. 'Cause he's a humongous man. So if you're quick enough, you can get away with this. It kind of, in a way, he kind of reminds me of Chuckway. Because honestly, this back of the ring really reminds me of Chuckway. In a way. Actually, almost identical to Chuckway. He does basically the same thing. Yeah, actually, this is almost exactly like Chuckway, now the more I think about it. Sorry, I did not pre-watch this video, really. So I'm discovering stuff with you. But yeah, this actually reminds you a lot of Chuckway. But back to it. So his left foot stops. So left side stops here. And look at it. See how his left knee doesn't really move until his right passes. And then he sprints off. Sorry about the quality of this video. So his right touches down right there. You know, right there. And I really like the left knee and the right knee and the left foot basically in line or a little below. It can go above if you're super quick, like a Adam Nelson or a Tom Walsh. But generally, the left foot will go above the right knee if you have an extremely high orbit like that, which I personally do. And that's because, so this style is very similar to Chuckway and like Dylan Armstrong. Just get left foot, right foot down as quick as possible. So just stay really low to the ground. And this technique is a perfect demonstration of someone who's just a power thrower. So I characterize two different throwers. There's a power thrower, which is this, which relies a lot on his strength. And then a torque thrower, who is someone who's not that strong but relies a lot on just landing so torqued and always being torqued and relying on stretch reflex, like an Adam Nelson or Tom Walsh. Obviously they're strong, but compared to how far they throw, they're not that strong and they even say that they're not that strong. There's multiple videos of Tom Walsh saying he's not very strong for a elite level shot putter. Obviously, just by looking at him at Gregory, he is very strong. His arms are about as big as my head. But yeah, I really like this timing. And his right foot lands perfectly in the middle. And you'll see this with a lot of power-oriented throwers. They don't do a lot of a pre-turn. So when you torque, when a torque thrower would get a pre-turn, and when his right lands, his right toes would be pointed like towards the back of the ring, basically. So this kind of style where you just go boom, boom. So left knee low, and then right just straight down. So he's sweeping down. This is very characteristic of a power thrower. And again, this kind of style only works in shot put, because in discus you have to sprint a lot farther because it's a bigger ring. So discus throwers don't try this, unless you're like Anthony Washington or something. But I might do a video on him actually, because I think he's actually being severely underrated. I don't think a lot of people know that he's Turner Washington's dad. But let's get back to Gregory here. So this right foot gets in the middle, perfectly in line. So if you'll notice from the back, pretty much in line. Yeah. And you'll notice when his right foot touches, His head is above it and his knee is above it. So everything is just stacked. And when you're here, everything is in one line. It does not move. So there's no bending of the hip that way or that way. It's all super efficient, and you have to be. That's part of the reason why he doesn't land pre-turned, is because the advantage of this style is because he's so strong, he can use that to his advantage and really work the floor a lot. And he does that a bunch. Alright. So you can really just keep turning for ages on that right foot. The only downside I would say is that, and one of the things that he could have improved on, I would say personally, in my humble opinion, would be to keep turning that right foot. So it kind of stalls there a little. Now, I think, and I could be wrong, I think he does that to get his toe, basically wait until his left foot gets down. And then the second his left foot gets down, his right turns. So I think, and I have this problem too, and I kind of delay my right foot in the middle as well, because I have a bad problem or a bad habit of trying to throw before my left foot gets down. So I don't know, in this comp or something, he was having a trouble with that, so he just delayed it, or if he always does that. That would be something I would have to look at. But that is a way to do that, but you have to be so perfectly in tune with your body and so timed. Because what generally happens if you do that and you delay your right foot until your left gets down, that when your left gets down, you just forget to turn and then you just try and throw anyway and you just don't rotate. But he does an amazing job of waiting until his left ground. So his left ground's there. The second his left grounds, you see in this one frame that his foot is turning. His right foot's turning. And he just left the ground and the shot's out of his hand. And the main reason I wanted to make this video is I think this position right here is basically a Tom Walsh finish. It's very reminiscent of Tom Walsh. Right. In fact, I think Gregory's arm speed is probably a little faster. Although it's hard to tell because this was recorded in like the 90s or the 80s, so it's hard to tell. I'm pretty sure the shot's left his hand by now. But I want you to pay attention. So he's basically on the ground, pushing on the ground, rotating. And then boom, just right there. And his whole left side, yes, his left foot is off the ground, but his left side just stays there. And when you're strong enough and powerful enough and fast enough, you can get away with this. And this was why I think he was ahead of his time. It's because normally you would see this, and especially back then, and they just jumped at the finish, really. I think him and Randy Barnes probably had the best finish of this era, of the 90s and 80s, because both of them had this finish basically, just rotate, and left foot, left side just stays there for ages. Even the shot leaving his hand, and he's still blocking. He does kind of jump a little at the end. And that's also very reminiscent of this kind of style of throwing, because you basically just do a squat jump while rotating. But a lot of people in this era, and a lot of beginners and stuff, just jump. What he's doing differently is he's rotating, then kind of jumping a little. And when you're strong enough, you can get away with some things. This, in my opinion, is not the most ideal thing, but Chuckway does this a lot. Honestly, Chuckway throws almost exactly like Gregory. Tafralis, because this is just an immaculate finish. I wish I had a finish like this. And it's one of the things I'm going to be working on this season, is my finish. So I want to get to a point where my finish looks like this. So I gotta hit the gym, but in the lab, because I need to drill this constantly. But I think this is the most ideal finish, especially because I don't think he's very tall either. It's hard to tell, and I'll try and find his weight and height in the video and online, and put it in the video description and his PR. And I don't know if he's actually won any medals or done anything, but well, I mean, besides throw, like I know for a fact he's done like 21, I think 98 or something 20, so 2190 something. And as I keep saying over and over and over, his left foot landed there, right foot. So he actually kind of over-rotated a little, which normally does happen because he did jump a little bit. And I think Chuckway kind of has this same rotate. But again, doesn't really matter. I mean, well, it does kind of. But, I mean, overall, I just love how smooth, no energy wasted. And that's the thing about when you have this kind of style, it's going to look like you barely have any separation at all. There's really no wasted time or anything. Everything just goes. So we'll watch this again in slow-mo. There's really no, like, he does hold the, he holds the chest a little bit, but everything's just constant motion. And you need to do that if you have this kind of style. So if you look at Chuckway or Dylan Armstrong, they have the same kind of tempo where you see people like Krauser and Kovacs, Walsh, Adam Nelson. They'll hold this left side for ages while this right is coming around, and then only get off the left when the right is about to land, basically. But here, everything is not moving. He does have separation, don't get me wrong. But for him, because he's so bulky as well, he's probably not the most flexible shot putter in the world. He's probably still very flexible because you need to be an elite level shot putter. But he's really using his attributes against you. And no matter what style you do, you just pick a style that's right for you. So for me, because I'm a little weakling, if I threw like this, I would not throw very far. But if I was a 280 plus pound monster that could like squat over 600 pounds and stuff, then I'd probably throw like this. And especially because I'm short, the torqued kind of style that like Adam Nelson and Tom Walsh use and Zane Weir use are more suit me. Like if Tom Walsh were to throw like Gregory here, he would not throw 2291. Or I'm sorry, 2290. He just wouldn't. Because he's just not strong enough to pull up this type of technique. But, you know, this is just a great example of the power style of throwing, as I like to call it. So, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It's been a while, but since I have a hiatus in throwing and training right now on my little break, it's been absolute torture. I figured why not make one. I also made a playlist for on my channel for my underrated throwers series and my technical cue videos and stuff like that, and just technical stuff. So if you want to give that a check out too, I don't really care if you do, you know, it's up to you, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys like this, and see you later.